What's going on, everyone? I just want to point out a few things because all the news going around has got me quite pissed off, and even worse, you people are falling for it. You're literally jumping through hoops and believing the bullshit that is coming out of these news reporters' mouths. I can't believe it. I don't understand how you could be so stupid. The coronavirus. I just want to point out, from the CDC, the coronavirus, the total cases is just shy of 1,600. You know how many deaths there have been from coronavirus out of those 1,600? 41. I'd say that's pretty shy. And yet the news reporters are making it into a global pandemic and making you freak out as if it's a goddamn plague. It's not a global pandemic until it starts taking out hundreds of thousands. It took out less than 50 people. Get the fuck over it. It's a common cold. Of those 1,600 cases, the reported cases were travel related were 138. Close contact was 129. And under investigation was 1,362. Now, why you guys are focusing so much on the coronavirus that the news has glorified, I'd like to point out something. While you're focusing over here on the bullshit that the news is telling you, there's really something happening over here. It's the presidential candidate. And 9/10 of them are Democrat. And every single one of those Democrats, all you ever hear about is how they want to take away your Second Amendment rights, and if the Second Amendment right falls down, every single other one falls down. You lose that Second Amendment right, you have no rights. Not a single one. Not to mention, Biden. He's a Democrat, and he's against the Second Amendment. But yet he keeps going back and forth on his fucking bullshit that he keeps telling you. He says, oh, well, if you want a gun, just buy a shotgun. Just get a shotgun. He's got a 20 gauge, he's got a 12 gauge. How can you take gun advice from a guy who calls it an AR-14? Or he says that machine guns can be easily accessible here in the U.S. It's illegal. There is no gun that is fully automatic here in the U.S. unless you are in the military. He said 150 million people died since 2007. That's literally half the population. You're going to take advice from that guy who talks out of his ass? You know he's a pedophile, right? He gets a little handsy on the stage if nobody has noticed. Beto O'Rourke, also a Democrat, said, hell yes, we're going to take your AK-47s, we're going to take your AR-15s. You know what? 5 million people in the NRA, and every single one of those members has a minimum 3 guns. I dare you to try. I really do. Bernie Sanders, a Democrat and a socialist, who also sided with Hillary Clinton and goes back and forth on his bullshit as well. Nancy Pelosi, how can we forget her? There's a reason why Donald Trump didn't want to shake her fucking hand. Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat, who says that she wants to tax guns so much that we are forced to turn them in. Okay, tax the fuck out of them. We're still going to find ways around it. Bloomberg, the billionaire businessman who is anti-Second Amendment and a total gun idiot, who thinks that every time you pull a trigger, that's fully automatic. No. Sorry. No. As far as all this trying to get rid of the Second Amendment and go after these so-called assault rifles, which, I'm sorry, that was a glorified fucking term for a semi-automatic rifle, which is the same thing as your fucking hunting rifle, by the way. Your hunting rifle, believe it or not, has more velocity than your AR-15. Literally shoots faster than your AR-15. 39,773 people died from gun-related injuries in the U.S., according to the CDC. And this includes murders, suicides, along with 3 other less common types of gun-related deaths. Out of those 39,773 people, 37% were murder, 60% were suicides, and the other 3% were your school shootings, your Columbine. There are more people being killed by knives and handguns and being beat to death with bats and melee weapons and bare fists than your everyday rifle. So why are they focused so much on the AR-15? Why are they going after the assault rifles? It makes no fucking sense. You realize that 10 of the biggest killers in the US, tobacco kills 529,000. Medical errors kills 195,000. Unintentional injuries, 118,021. Alcohol abuse, 107,400. Motor vehicles kills over 34,000. So on and so forth, all down the list. Non-firearm homicides, which includes knives, bats, hammers, poisons, etc., accounts for 16,800 people. You know how many rifle deaths there are? Not very many. It's less than 300 a year. And most of those, like I said, 60% were suicides, 37% were murders, and the other 3%, your school shootings and whatnot, were handguns. So all these Democrats trying to go after your Second Amendment rights, please tell me you're not stupid enough to fucking give in. Please tell me you're going to fight for your constitutional rights that you were given. All these fucking idiots with the coronavirus that are focused on it like it's a goddamn plague. I want to point out, I saw a story yesterday about an elderly man buying out all the baby powder, the baby wipes, the baby formula, and he told the news reporters that he bought the baby formula because it lasts longer than buying milk. You're fucking over parents that actually need that. And two, has he never heard of powdered milk? Come on, dude. Pull your head out of your ass. Aside from that, you know what the coronavirus is? It has nothing to do with your bladder. It doesn't make you shit yourself. It doesn't make you have uncontrollable bladder symptoms. It attacks your respiratory system. It makes you feel ill. It makes your body feel weak. It makes you want to be bedridden. I know because a month and a half ago I had the neurovirus, which is pretty much the same fucking thing as coronavirus. And you know what I got? You see me here right now, don't you? Wasn't that bad. So while everybody is focused on buying out stores and getting into fistfights over toilet paper, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to stay educated, and I'm going to take care of my fucking family how I damn well please. I'm going to stay smart. I'm going to teach my kids to be the same way. Why is everyone getting so goddamn stupid? Seeing the news today, it made me weep for our generation. I really do. Because while everybody else is sitting here and freaking the fuck out, I'm staying educated. So, please, do your research. Get educated. Look up some of the facts that these Democrats are telling you. Look up some of these facts that the news are telling you. Don't just believe it just because they say it. You know, it's hard being a new parent. I have a new kid on the way. And seeing all this bullshit on the news and everything like that, it's really hard for me to have strength and belief that my kid is going to have a good future if everyone is so fucking stupid. I freak out every single fucking day about the shit that I hear. I'm terrified to bring my kid into this world. I am terrified about all the news media and everything glorifying bullshit that you don't need to worry about. It's a common fucking cold. That's it. I had the neurovirus. It damn near knocked me on my ass. And you know what? I had to go to the hospital and get IV bags. But you know what? I came out 2 hours later and I was just fine. And now they're talking as if it's a global pandemic. They're talking about the whole shit shebang, like army tents, people in hazmat suits. They're talking about quarantining you off and you can't leave. For what? So you can have a cold for 14 hours and get the fuck over it? Dude. And they also say that it comes in from China. Let's talk about that, shall we? Most of our exports, this is true, comes from China. But you know what Donald Trump has been trying to do? He's been trying to make sure that all of our international stuff here in the U.S., it's made here in the U.S. It's not coming from China. It's not coming from Thailand. It's not coming from Taiwan. He's trying to make everything built here in the U.S. So you know what? I thank him for shutting down the airplanes and keeping travelers from going out of the country. I'm glad. But that is my daily rant. I'm sorry that it had to fall on all of you, but I'm trying to wake you people up so that other people can be educated. When one person falls down, help that person up. When somebody is less educated, teach them. When somebody is falling a little bit behind, you pick their asses up. Much like my marriage. When she's falling behind, I'm going to pick her up. When I'm falling behind, I hope to God she picks me up. It's a give and take. Help your fellow neighbor. How do we expect to come out of this if we're going to be segregated and divided, just like they want? That's what they want. They tell you all this bullshit on the news so that they throw you into global pandemic and make you freak out so they can wean out the idiots. This whole coronavirus thing is like taking warning labels off of sharp objects and letting the world sort itself out. That's exactly what it is. All the media does is insert a little bit of information into your head and you decide which way you want to go. All it is a dividing contact. That is. They want to see how they can divide you, how they can put you into different groups. Forget the bullshit that the media gives you. Come together. Help out your fellow neighbor. Help educate. And don't you dare give up your Second Amendment rights. Because the second that Second Amendment right falls, you have no rights. Stay educated, people.